So it's finally here, the relaunching of Elder Scrolls into Tamriel Unlimited. I actually wanted to create this video a bit earlier, but because of relatives visiting from abroad with my nephews, it's impossible to do voiceovers with all the kids running around. Anyway, I found some time to do this in the middle of all that. That being said, this is going to be somewhat of a short video of my observations for Tamriel Unlimited. So I know there have been a bunch of changes since I unsubbed from June of last year. This includes general improvements, adding a die system, which I have to add, it makes the game look all the more colorful. The justice system, where you can kill or steal from NPCs, and the champion system, where you can progress your character after hitting max level. Unfortunately, I won't be able to test those out as my max level character was only in her 30s at the time I unsubbed. So if you do have a copy of the game and haven't been on for a while, you're going to have to update your client, and it's a bit lengthy depending on how far back you missed the patches. After all that waiting, you'll immediately notice a change in the launcher, as you're seeing right now. In addition, the login screen hasn't changed much except with the insertion of the Tamriel Unlimited text and the addition of new background images that change up every few seconds. So one thing though, for previous subscribers, make sure you check your account, as you've been credited some crowns depending on how long you were subbed from before. So crowns are your virtual currency for purchasing some vanity items from the store. The same currency will also be used to unlock content for the game, which I believe, if I understand correctly, comes in the form of DLCs. So I tried loading my highest level character, but unfortunately she somehow gets stuck in the loading screen. The good thing though is that my other characters were working fine. Upon logging into an alt, I noticed that older achievements started popping up. I don't know why that was happening. I also noticed that there might have been some graphical improvements. The game feels a whole lot smoother compared to, or at least from what I remember from before. I noticed that I'm able to push more settings to higher levels as compared to before. Actually, on 1440 resolution, everything's maxed out right now in my system, and I'm still able to get around 60 frames in steady zones, and around 40-ish in areas with lots of stuff going on around. I also read somewhere that they had revamped the intro quests for when you create your first character. I feel that the starter quests are much better now as opposed to before, as it feels streamlined, I think that's the word to use, and the story is fleshed out much better. Still though, they could have done much better atmosphere wise, but I'd have to say that it's still a noticeable improvement. From those intro quests, you can already see that they've improved the feel of combat, as your attacks have more impact and movement appears to be more fluid. So that's something that's really important in games, being able to put out a better intro for your game, as somehow I feel like it should build up from somewhere great, and I think this improvement will really help make players feel that, or at least feel more connected to the game. I also checked out Cyrodiil on an alt in one of my older videos. In one of my older videos, I think I mentioned that there was a frame rate issue at the time in the PvP zone. My frames would drop to around 10 or 15 whenever more players were running around or throwing spells, or especially in sieges. So my experience so far has been pretty good, as the numbers were pretty much above 30 frames. This makes the PvP aspect of the game, in my opinion, a much better experience. Well, that's been pretty much my experience with Tamriel Unlimited in the small amount of game time that I've put in, and so far it's been pretty great. Elder Scrolls Online feels like a more complete game right now based on what I've seen so far, and it's also based on what I've seen from the forum posts. What's really great is that they finally removed the subscription for it. If I do feel that one aspect of the game is lacking, it won't be so bad, since I'm no longer paying for a monthly sub. So be sure to check out the game if you already have a copy of it. And if you do game on a console, remember that it does come out for PS4 and I think Xbox on the 9th of June. So see you on my next video, guys.